Welcome back, everybody, to Crows of Judgment. And we have two articles from CBR.com. Now, I honestly didn't think that I was going to do an actual video talking about the controversy with Netflix's new Masters of the Universe show. We did a stream, which I thought was very, very cleverly titled, but I'm a bit of a prick, so it's probably a part of it. Now, the thing is, it's only getting worse, right? Because Kevin Smith, right, who at this point has become fully engulfed in the Hollywood bullshit, is like continuing to double, quintuple, infinity ruple down on his fucking bullshit. And it's only getting worse. Now, during my stream last night, well, I guess that would be about 2 nights ago, I talked about what I thought about the show, right? And just so I can be as clear as I possibly can be, I am not some major He-Man fan, but I spent a little bit of today going back and watching the 2002 series, and to be frank, I actually have a better appreciation for the characters, because I had only seen a few of those episodes way back. But, going back and watching it now, I was like, oh, I guess I can thank Kevin Smith for getting me back into, like, the good shit. I guess that was a positive, too. But I'm not like some sort of major He-Man fan, Lord nerd. There was so much stuff that happened in the show, and I was like, I don't know if this is unique. Like, when Castle Grayskull turns out to just be some sort of illusion, I was like, was that in the original series? I didn't know. Someone told me it wasn't, and they were actually kind of mad about it. But anyways, right now, Masters of the Universe Revelation is getting hit very hard. Now, the thing that I find interesting is it's got like a 97% from critics, and the fan reviews are like, kind of like, go fuck yourself, Kevin. But I mean, if you actually read through the reviews, they're not just all, oh, Kevin Smith is a liar. A lot of people are just genuinely upset for multiple reasons. I guess, obviously the biggest one is it is a major bait and switch, right? Now, 2 years ago, roughly, Clownfish TV exposed that He-Man Masters of the Universe, the new series that would be coming out, they had been informed from an insider that they were going to sideline He-Man, and it was going to really just be about Teela, and Teela was basically going to take over, right? And Kevin Smith, for whatever reason, decided that he was going to quote tweet them, call them out as liars, and continuously drag them. And when the trailer dropped for the show, the trailer is focused on He-Man, right? And even when I saw it, I was like, that actually looks pretty good. Now, then Kevin Smith went on to continue to drag Clownfish TV for whatever reason. And when the first reviews dropped for the series, everyone, right, even the people that loved it, said that this is Teela's show, right? So this was not just something from, we'll get into the angry He-Man fans here in a second, but it wasn't just something that, the angry white male supremacist base of the He-Man fans were saying. Like, it was actually in one of the IGN reviews, and IGN, they're the dumbasses, I believe, who said that they gave like a really low review for a Pokemon game because it had too much water in it. It was kind of dumb. It's like, okay, I don't want to get off topic here, but I probably will a little bit because, anyways, even the people that liked the changes were saying that it was Teela's show. And to be clear, in the 80s cartoon, right? And, I'm from the 90s, so I'm sure that someone can correct me in my comment section if I got this just grossly off. But even in the 90s, right, I used to watch the same shows my sister watched, right? My sister would have to watch Pokemon with me, and I would watch Sailor Moon with her, right? Because there's one TV to watch, you know. And as much as I rag on Sailor Moon, like I watched it as a kid. It's not that bad, but you know, even in the 80s, I would imagine it was kind of the same thing, right? You'd watch the same things that your siblings watch. So He-Man actually did focus on, you know, the female characters, right? It like there were episodes where, you know, He-Man couldn't save the day and, you know, secondary characters had to, you know, pull their own fucking weight. But it was a show that was quite literally for everybody. In fact, He-Man had such a large female audience that led to the creation of She-Ra. Because they're like, well, let's capture that audience and give them a show that's kind of like tailor made for them. And you know, I believe that like a lot of the fans of He-Man back then were also fans of She-Ra, whether they be male or female. But He-Man always had a pretty diverse audience. But you know, when She-Ra comes out, She-Ra does become the female-centric show. He-Man is the male-centric show. In the 2002 series, I mean, it's obviously about He-Man. And when Kevin Smith, you know, basically like announced it and everything, the show was like, it was going to be metal. It was going to be a show for the fans. All this, you know, typical bullshit. And, you know, after watching the show, look, there are some things that I give credit for. I loved Mark Hamill's voice acting. Actually, everyone other than Sarah Michelle Gellar, who's voicing Teela, is like giving it just this amazing performance, right? And I don't want to harp on the voice acting so much because it really is top notch. And I don't. To be clear, I can't even say that her voice acting is all that bad. It's just everybody else is like so damn good that she really stands out, and not in a good way. Anyways, if you watch the show, it's pretty clear that there is no male protagonist. There is no male lead in the show. He-Man gets killed in the first episode. You know, he like disappears, turns into a greasy smear stain. And I remember when, you know, this like roughly maybe it was a month or 2 months ago, after the trailer had dropped, I said, look, a show focusing on the secondary characters having to band together and, you know, find He-Man or bring him back somehow as everything's falling apart, that could be a very interesting idea, right? But then I actually watched the show, and as much as I acknowledge it's an interesting idea, it's executed so fucking bad, right? I guess the big topic would be Teela, right? Even as someone who's not a major fan of He-Man, I can tell you right now, Teela's character in this show is a complete departure from every other incarnation of that character, right? From the original series to the 2002 series to the comics. This version of Teela is not at all what she was like in the original, right? And real He-Man fans would likely know that better than I would because Teela was a prominent character in the original series. So, well, I say like you can focus on other characters, right? As you like, I don't know, go on a quest to bring He-Man back, and then you know they need He-Man to save the day or whatever, right? When you turn the lead of the show into one of the secondary characters, you warp their personality and you make them completely unlikable. Yeah, the show's not being review bombed. People are just like legitimately unhappy. I mean, look, the first episode, up until like the very end, I thought actually was really good. But there's this scene where, you know, He-Man, Adam's parents find out that he's dead. Right? They find the mother knew he was He-Man, but the father didn't. They find out he's dead, and they just lost their son, right? They literally just lost their son. And Teela starts going off on everyone for lying to her. And she, like, abandons the kingdom. And I'm like, that is... I get being upset that somebody lied to you, sweetie, but for fuck's sakes, they literally just lost their kid, and you're chastising them. When you see something like that, you just become so fucking unlikable, right? And it's like right at the start. There are characters that I did like, you know, Orko. I liked him, and then they killed him. Like I think a lot of these deaths that they're showing off are like fake out deaths, because it's like you see Orko's body, he kind of just vanishes with this one bad guy. Even, you know, Kevin Smith, I guess after the series dropped, started to brag about how he got to kill He-Man twice, and I'm like, dude, you clearly don't like the characters, right? You clearly don't like this universe. You decided to turn the focus to a secondary character, and you couldn't even stay true to that character's personality, right? You decided to completely warp it to fit your own to fit your own ends. And I guess there's something that happened where there was and look, I don't like bringing up people's race and everything. I'm Arab, yeah, half Arab, half white, whatever. I don't like bringing up people's race or anything, just in general, because I think you should just focus on what people are actually saying and doing. But there was a black He-Man fan, right? And I guess he had said that he didn't like the idea of race swapping the King Grayskull, or whoever that guy was. Dude, I'm not a major He-Man fan, so forgive me. And they made him black. And I guess the fan was like, I don't want like... I don't want like sloppy seconds. I want you to give me somebody, you know, new. Give me a new black character that's prominent, right? And one of the creators for the show kind of like I've been talked down to by people of all races, but you basically had a white guy talking down to a black He-Man fan about how he should be happy with the race swapping sloppy seconds that they did. And I was like, dude, I've been there. Like, I've fucking been there with people, and you really want to slap those fuckers. You really do, right? Because it is just the most condescending shit that you can fucking do. And knowing that, I guess, the creative minds behind this are literally a bunch of fucking white dudes from Hollywood, should have really known where this was gonna fucking go. Like, it's amazing. And again, personal experience. My wife plays rugby, right? I like women that are athletic. I don't, muscles to me, right? I want to have them. My wife's got them. I like it, right? But Teela's just fucking unlikable. Like, Teela's just fucking unlikable. Holy shit. Personality matters to me. It's not all about the physique. Personality is fucking unlikable. Anyways, that was a very long lead up to CBR's next article, where they are just going all in, deep throating Kevin Smith. I mean, like, honestly, you'd expect to find some of this shit like on adult fan fiction websites, with how just, oh my gosh, just going all fucking in. Anyways. God, do I have to, like, I might have to edit that one part out. I'll just go for it. I'm not going to get this video monetized. Kevin Smith has a message for angry He-Man fans. Grow the F up! I don't think I'm that angry. I find this entire thing just completely comical at this point, right? Because, to be clear, all of this backlash, right? This show could have dropped, right? It could have dropped just the way that it is. And people would have been upset, but you wouldn't have seen this amount of backlash had Kevin Smith not opened his damn mouth, dragged Clownfish TV, and, you know, kind of like mocked them when they were actually right. You know, and to be clear, had Kevin Smith, when the show dropped, you know, made a statement along the lines of, look, you know, I had to lie because it was a big part of the show. You know, He-Man's still core to the show, but we really wanted to focus on the secondary characters that everybody loves. Some generic statement like that. Even that would have been fucking passable. But instead, he's been, like, going off. And The thing is, when you lie, when you stack lies on top of lies, it becomes really hard to track, what you've said. And there's some interesting things in this article as we read through it. This is gonna be a long video at this point, but I really have so much to say because I guess I can relate to He-Man fans in the sense that I've seen things that I used to love growing up, comic books, for instance, right? And I've seen how you get these people that don't understand or necessarily even like the characters, so they want to do their own thing, but they want to do it using a character that, you love, right? I can relate to He-Man fans in that aspect, right? But let's go through it. Kevin Smith has lost his patience with a certain group of He-Man fans who are angry over the big twist in Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 1. Again, all the backlash he's getting is because of his own actions, right? I've even said how he could have still gone with releasing the show in its current format, and had he had not opened his mouth and just repeatedly lie while dragging people pretty fucking maliciously, the backlash would still happen, but it would not be on this scale. The writer-director developed the new He-Man series for it's not even really a He-Man series, honestly, for Netflix, based on the idea of continuing the story of the original series, which, again, this more reads like a comic book Elseworld story, right? Where, someone wants to go in and tell like an alternative take on something. It's not a continuation of the original series in any sense of the word. But it's talking about Kevin Smith lies. One of the lies he told was that this would be like a successor to the original series. Then he called it a spiritual successor to the original series. But again, you kill off the actual title character, and you replace him with a secondary character whose personality you have just completely mangled. Even as someone who's not a major He-Man fan, I can tell you that it's definitely not a continuation. However, adult audiences who remember the original series from their childhood have issued harsh criticism and even taken to review bombing to bring Part 1's Rotten Tomatoes audience score down. So I don't know if you guys caught where in that sentence this is just a ton of bullshit. However, adult audience who remember the original series from their childhood, you mean fans of He-Man? You mean the fans? the actual fans who watch the show and know these characters? Those are the people that are upset? Oh my goodness. Well, it couldn't possibly be Kevin Smith's fault. God damn. Issued harsh criticism, taken to review bombing. Like, if you don't like something and you go and post a review saying, hey, I didn't like this, how is that review bombing? Review bombing is like, there's a story years ago where this guy really got pissed off with a video game and ran like thousands of sock puppet accounts to bring down an audience score for a video game, right? And it was like literally one person doing it. That would be review bombing. But one person saying, I don't like this, I'm going to post a negative review. That's not review bombing. The fact that there are so many people doing it, well, you've already kind of said it. The fans of the original series, they don't like it. That's not review bombing. And to be fair, look at the critic reviews. I mean, I'm calling CBR, lightweight adult content with how all in they're going on Kevin Smith. But go read those critic reviews because oh boy, that should not be that should not be viewed by young children. It's too graphic. Smith explained to Variety that he was convinced to even do the series by being told by Netflix director of original series Ted Biselli, I'm probably saying that wrong, I yearned to watch the show I thought I was watching in childhood. That's what I'm looking for here, the same show, but people can die. Can you do that? And I was like, that's the only thing I can do. Oh my god. However, the big twist in the new series is that He-Man and Skeletor are seemingly killed in battle with each other in the very first episode, tearing magic away from Eternia and leaving the other heroes alone, with Teela being forced to take a more central role in He-Man's temporary absence. Temporary. That is let's be clear, it's not temporary. This has led to a number of fans angrily calling this new series a bait and switch, since He-Man is mostly only in flashbacks during the series. Well, Kevin Smith, you know, the dude responsible for the show, told everybody that He-Man wasn't being sidelined. He called this show like metal, and you know, fans of the series, this is for them. They're gonna love this. The trailer drops, and the trailer is only focused on He-Man. I mean, I guess I am, you know, at CBR, I'm confused too why they're calling it bait and switch. It must just be toxic males. Oh my goodness. The scourge of the toxic male fandom. They just ruin everything. God damn, dude. Smith does not take those complaints very seriously. It's been interesting seeing who truly is a hardcore fan. Oh my god. Oh, don't do that, dude. Don't fucking do that. God, fuck. He's doing the shit where now if you don't like the show and you're upset with it, then you're just not a real fan, dude. Fuck off, man. Look, the thing is, I can say that you don't necessarily need to have been this big all-time fan of He-Man to take over the show. You just have to like respect it, at least, right? That's all you really need to do. You have to respect the series. You have to respect the characters. And if you don't, you really shouldn't be working on the project. I mean, I know this fucker just wanted to shove his fucking pockets with cash, but let's be honest, if you didn't like it, just be open about that. I mean, Kevin Smith talked about how... Actually, you know what? So this is an article from June. I just want you to see just a couple things here, right? Kevin Smith told everyone that, you know, he used to run home after school because he just had to watch the episodes. I'm going to play this audio. And I want you to hear it, what Kevin Smith had to say, you know, after... And this was a clip from years ago where people found this and started bringing it up because, you know, he had lied and said he was like this major He-Man fan.
I have no love for He-Man.
I know, but I have no love for He-Man either, but he's got a place in the world.
Now, that statement there, I think that statement's fine when you separate it from the fact that he was lying to everyone, telling them what a fucking super fan he was of the series, right? Saying like, I have no love for He-Man, but, you know, it has its place. That's a fine statement. In fact, that's even a fine statement for someone who wants to work on the project. But the fact that he was telling everyone he was like this He-Man super fan, he lied. I mean, it's pretty clear that he was lying about being this super fan. And I don't even know why he would go around doing that. I mean, that's just a dishonest fucking statement. And it's not like that was the only time he told people he wasn't a fan. I mean, the tweet right here. I wasn't a He-Man fan, but a Gallery 1988 is running an awesome Masters of the Universe art show. Again, the dude was not a fan of the original series. And I think that that's pretty obvious if you watch the episodes, that he's not a fan of the show. He really likes tearing down characters. And again, even Teela, who he decided to focus on, that was like a different person. That was not who Teela was at all. It was really fucking weird. And again, you know, as I said, I went back, you know, I started watching the 2002 series. I watched more episodes today, and it's pretty clear that, you know, this dude does not like these characters. Going back and watching that show and comparing it to this shit is like, holy fuck, why? What is wrong with you? Everything I've ever worked on in like 27 years, this is easily in the top 5 of my favorite, most satisfying projects, says Smith, a He-Man superfan who showruns Revelation. Like, come on, man. Oh, dude, this guy is so dishonest. It's fucking awful. Okay, so, you know, like, CBR, the reason why I trash this fucking site is those clips of him saying he's not a fan of He-Man, those tweets of him stating that, those are all available. You think that if he's going to put out a statement like, it's been interesting seeing who truly is a hardcore fan, you know, a credible outlet that actually wanted to inform their audience would point out that, you know, Kevin Smith has actively lied about being a fan of the show. But, you know, CBR is trash, and they're just here to shill, so you kind of expect it. Because nobody, he said, because anybody that's like, oh man, there's not enough He-Man, or something like that, doesn't understand the show that we based it on. There were episodes where he lost the sword, and he never became He-Man. It wasn't like He-Man always saved the day, his friends helped him. That was the fucking point of the show. His friends helped him, okay? There would be an episode where He-Man didn't save the day. You know why? Because they wanted to change up the formula on some of the episodes and give spotlight to some of the secondary characters. But the original show was literally He-Man's story. It was He-Man's show. Now, I'm going to give Kevin Smith like a tiny ounce of room here and say, you know, part 2 has not come out yet. I don't think that they've done everything for part 2 yet. So they can clearly walk back a lot of this shit that's been done. But, I mean, you've already bastardized Teela's character. And Kevin Smith was, like, laughing it up about how he killed off He-Man twice in part 1. So, I mean, look, I don't get where I like, that's such a disingenuous fucking statement. Like, this is like I want to say this is like gaslighting to a fucking extreme, right? You have somebody who pretended to be a He-Man fan now coming out and saying that only the real fans would appreciate my show, and saying that, you know, the people that actually watched the original series, they didn't like, what, dude? Like, oh my god, this is like fucking brain damage in text form. I see people online go, hey man, they're getting rid of He-Man. Like, you really fucking think Mattel Television, who hired me and paid me money, wants to do a fucking Masters of the Universe show without He-Man? He continued in a harsher manner. Grow the fuck up. Like, that blew my mind. Bunch of people being like, oh, I smell, this is a bait and switch. Okay. Okay, let's see here. I see people online go, hey man, they're getting but you did. And like, not only did you do that, you then, like, after the episodes dropped, you started bragging about killing off He-Man twice. Like, come on. Like, dude, this is like the ultimate fucking gaslighting. Oh, I smell it. This it was a bait and switch. You told everyone this wasn't going to happen, and then you bragged about how you got to kill him twice. Like, come on. And to be clear, in part 2, I don't think that Adam's really dead, right? I think he's still alive, but honestly, the show is being set up to make Teela the next Guardian or whatever. Like, it's pretty fucking clear when, was it episode 3 or episode 4? They're in, like, the realm of the dead, and Teela has to face her biggest fear, and her biggest fear is that she's so powerful and she doesn't know what to do with it. And I'm going like, oh my fucking god. You know, talk about, like, an actual real moment for the character. I'm afraid of losing more friends. I'm afraid of screwing up, right? Make it something fucking relatable, you stupid fuckwad. Holy shit. Instead you make it, I'm so afraid of my power. Motherfucker, what? I mean, like, that would have actually been a moment to make Tila a relatable character, because, you know, fans of the original show are going to know that this is not the Tila that they grew up with, right? Fans of the 2002 series are going to know that this is a complete departure from the character. Fans of the comics are going to fucking throw up. But, like, that scene alone was just the ultimate just gut punch that the people who are, like, putting this shit together are fucking lost, right? You make this woman completely unlikable, right? In the first episode, you make her completely unlikable. And then when you have a moment where she can face her biggest fear, and you can make it something that people can actually relate to, right? Everyone's afraid of losing their friends. Everyone's afraid of dying. Everyone's afraid of screwing up, right? Those are things that, you know, people can actually relate to, and instead they make it her fear is that she's so powerful. I was just like, I want to smash my head into a brick wall. And that's why I said, like, the show is clearly being set up to have Adam step down and give the power to Tila, right? And I say that because, you know, another scene in the Paradise Afterlife, Adam is in his regular form, and he chooses to remain as Adam. He doesn't want to spend his life in paradise as He-Man. So I think they're going to give, like, some, like, really stupid line about how Adam never wanted the power, and, you know, Tila was able to do all of this without it, so with the power she would be such a better hero. I mean, it's so fucking obvious, right? Like, I think that at this point, when they do put out part 2, they may just start walking that stuff back. They may, you know, spend part 2 focusing on building Adam back up. Because, look, this show is made to sell toys, right? Mattel wants to sell toys, and when the first figures for the show came out, I think that, you know, they just had massive sales of He-Man and Skeletor, because that's what people wanted. Now, with all this backlash, I mean, they're going to probably put out some, like, fucking Tila action figures, and they ain't going to sell. Mattel's going to look at that and go, oh, we done fucked up, boys. Because at the end of the day, you have three, I guess, you have, like, 3 white dudes who put the show together. One of them is supposedly the super He-Man fan, and like, this big guy in geek culture. And they're all telling the Mattel executives that this is what the people want. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to get Mattel to fucking co-sign on that shit. But, like, come on. I guess that's the I guess that's the end of the article. Like, shit, do you get paid for this shit, dude? Brian Cronin, you get paid to write this much? I'm spending more time talking about it in this fucking video that I'm probably not gonna be able to monetize on. And if I do, I'm gonna make, like, what, $1.50? And you're how much money do you make to suck off Kevin Smith? Holy fuck. No pushback, nothing. Just goddamn, dude. But I mean, like, that's the nature of CBR, if we're being honest, right? Like, CBR is just here to shill for the big money. But anyways, guys, you let me know what you think in the comment section. I guess my final thoughts on the show are, I think 30% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it is, that's fair. The show is very well animated. Again, the voice acting is really top notch. And I love Mark Hamill as Skeletor. Like, that is perfect, honestly. But, you know, the warping of Tila's personality to be this selfish, insufferable, you know, bad word for women that if I say, I'm sure will upset somebody. It's when you make your main character that unlikable, I honestly, I knew I had to watch the rest of the episodes just to be fair, before talking about the show, because they could redeem certain things, but they really don't. I mean, even when she meets Adam in the afterlife, she starts screaming about how, you know, he was dead and she had to live with it. And I'm like, Oh my, you get this woman is so unrelatable. Like, can you imagine like, not even being a fan of He-Man? Can you imagine being somebody who's lost somebody close to them and you're watching this insufferable bitch. I said the bad word. But you're watching this insufferable bitch yell at her friend for dying on her. Like, I mean, anyone's ever lost someone's just going to be like, hug him. You get a chance to see this person that you lost. He died. He died saving your life. I mean, you know, show, like, some human emotion. Don't be so fucking insufferable. But I think that if Mattel has any fucking functioning brain cell collectively amongst all their executives, somebody should really call Kevin Smith and tell him to shut the fuck up, right? Because well, you could try to redeem this shit and fix what people are criticizing in part 2. It's gonna be so fucking hard. Even if you course corrected hardcore and made all of part 2 about building Adam back up, who's gonna even fucking watch it? Right? Who's going to even tune into it at this point? You have Kevin Smith, I was a He-Man fan, super fan, but I'm not a He-Man fan. Sorry. Like, you have this motherfucker going out and saying, what was that fucking line he said? It's been interesting seeing who truly is a hardcore fan. Oh my god, dude. What an asshole. Like, seriously, what an asshole. Just admit you lied. I mean, you don't need to go this fucking hard on it. CBR can suck your ass off all they fucking want, but actual fans of He-Man are gonna see right through this shit, right? Actual fans of He-Man are not gonna go to fucking CBR.com for news. Because, like, who goes to CBR for fucking news? Like, the only time I pull up a fucking article from these goddamn mental rejects is when they say something fucking stupid. Or they post a stupid article. Or they're getting paid I don't know how much money to write, like nothing. God damn. Man, Brian's got a great fucking job.
Let that shit bang.